What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another monthly State of Affairs update video on the King Crusoe YouTube channel. It has been 2 months since I've done one of these, as I explained in the last one that came out in April. April and May was kind of a hectic time for me in terms of work and all that kind of stuff, so I had to change the video schedule a little bit. Obviously, since I have 2 months worth of stuff to go through this month, I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of stuff here at the beginning of the video. I'm just going to go ahead and start from the normal system of how I do things a little bit. And forgive me if I'm a little bit rough in this video. I haven't recorded an on-camera video for about 2 months or something like that, so I'm a little bit rusty. First off, let's just talk about some of the videos that came out the last 2 months. I'm changing this section a little bit because I don't really feel like boring you with all the videos that came out over, the previous time period in every single one of these videos. If I decide I want to do that again in the future, I probably will. But for now, because it's 2 months worth of stuff to cover and I have too much to talk about in this video, I'm not going to bore you with that. Instead, I'm just going to highlight a couple of videos that I hope you'll check out if you haven't already. First of those being Grime, A Critical Analysis. This is episode 1 of season 2 in my Critical Analysis game review series. It just came out a few days ago, and so much time and effort went into making this video, like a dozen hours for writing the script or something like that, and then probably around 20 hours for the cumulative recording and editing and all that whatnot. So I really would appreciate if some of you guys would actually go watch that video and watch it, more than for just a few seconds. I'm really happy about how that came out, and indie developers in the gaming sphere need that kind of coverage. So I was very happy about that video. I hope you'll check that one out. And then a random book binge episode that I kind of want to highlight is my episode on Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage. This is probably the most underground, or perhaps maybe unknown. Maybe that's not the correct way to think about it, especially since I don't really know the scope of the popularity of the book. But Endurance by Alfred Lansing is probably the most underground book I think I've covered over the last 2 months, and I highly recommend it. And that video is really short. It's only like 7 or 8 minutes if I remember correctly. So it's low commitment if you want to go check out that video and decide if you want to read it or not. It's pretty short and quick. But of course, if you want to see all the other videos and whatnot that came out, you can either check my YouTube page, or you can just go to seasonalproductions.com, which is officially back online at the time of this video's release. And I have a new improved YouTube video backlog section with all of the different video series and whatnot that all got revamped. All the rest of the site got revamped. It's entirely rebuilt. So if you want to go check that out, I would also greatly appreciate that. And now we move on to the next section that I normally include in these videos, that being what writing stuff came out on seasonalproductions.com the last couple months. Speaking of the new improved website, no writing came out on the website over the last couple months, obviously, because I just mentioned I had the website down. Originally, it was only supposed to be down for April and was supposed to come back online on May 1st, and I was maybe going to do some writing on there, but it turned out being a complete overhaul that I needed to rebuild all of the site, basically from scratch in a lot of ways. So it ended up being down during May as well. So nothing came out, none of my original writing or anything came out over the last couple months. But I do still have the writing still up that I did between January and March. So if you want to check out any of the stuff that I did during those months, that stuff is still up there, and I hope to get back into writing soon. And just a reminder, that's seasonalproductions.com. But now we move on to the next section of this video, in which we talk about the videos that are coming out this month. Since I'm off of the crazy work schedule, theoretically, but I don't need to get into all of the details of that again, the video schedule for this month should be going pretty much back to normal. But for this section, I'm no longer going to tell you the dates of all the videos that are coming out, because I don't need to. Or rather, I guess I should clarify, when I tell you the book binge episodes, I don't need to waste time telling you the dates that they come out, because they come out a new episode every single Monday. That's easy to remember. For all the Friday videos, I can still tell you what date they come out on, just because it's a little bit easier. So I have 4 episodes of the book binge coming out, obviously my monthly reading wrap-up and TBR, except I'm going to be covering, again, April and May in that video. And then I have reviews for The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton coming out. That's just the one review. Then I have a special off-the-wall video titled, Should You Read a Book or Watch Its Adaptation First? something along those lines. I can't exactly remember what the title is, but it's covering that topic about books versus movie or TV adaptations. And then I have a full series review, and I think I kind of went into a little bit of ranking for the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Again, that's a full series review that'll be out on that last Monday of this month. So I've got a few things coming out there. And then I'm obviously going to have another book haul come out this month, and just like this video and the reading wrap up and TBR, it's going to cover both April and May, just, the whole covering the 2 months that didn't get full coverage. That will be coming out on the second Friday of the month on the 10th. And then I have another video game review coming out this month, this time for the Platinum review instead of a critical analysis. This will be out on the 24th, and this one's on Little Nightmares 2. I got this one written and recorded around the same time that I finished writing and recorded the Grime video for May, and I also had a lot of fun with this one. I still have yet to get around to editing that one as of the time of recording this, but that will be out on the 24th of this month. And then we have the seasonal podcast. This month there's going to be no episodes of that, and I actually don't know, or at least can't reliably tell you when or if that's coming back anytime soon. I didn't get a chance to record with Lane for the podcast at all the last couple months. We've both been super, super busy, and even if we had gotten a chance to record, I didn't know what to cover. Like, we didn't have a topic that we knew that we would want to put in place, and at least with the podcast right now, we're not currently in a place where we don't really know what to cover generally or how to cover it, because a lot of the early episodes with the movie reviews weren't a format that I really liked, and they ran long and were too detailed. Like, I kind of liked the episode where we talked about Spider-Man No Way Home a lot more than any of the other movie reviews or discussions that we've done, just because we didn't go into a scene by scene detailing of what happened and then summarize our thoughts. So we just don't exactly know what we're doing with that. And more importantly, I haven't even really gotten a chance to talk with Lane in depth about the podcast in general over the past month when we would have had a chance to record, because like I said, we've both been really busy on our own projects, and Lane also got scammed for a lot of money earlier this month as well, or rather early in May as well. So things just have been crazy for both of us. But if you do want something to watch in this regard, we did do an Elden Ring discussion in May that came out on that first Friday, so it's on the channel right now. That's our most popular podcast episode to date by a pretty significant margin. So if you want to listen to a couple guys talk about their early hours of Elden Ring and then get into some weird tangents at the very end that got really out of hand, there's that out there in case you're interested in. And now we come into the final section that I normally include in these videos, and this is what writing is going to come out this month. And for this section, instead of just trying to go through and look at my notes and figure out what I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to go ahead and read a whole paragraph that I have prepared ahead of time for you real quick, because it'll just make this section go by a lot easier and a lot smoother, like I said, rather than relying on notes. So here's the paragraph that I have written for this. This might be the last time this section is featured, to the extent that it is right now in this series, at least the monthly state of affairs, all of that deal. Both because of the way my writing exists on the website now, but particularly because when I get busy or certain projects take more time than I anticipate or plan for them to, the only work that I can reasonably push back is the writing content. I think I've mentioned this in the last couple state of affairs. When I get super busy, the writing is what I have to push back and delay the release of. Most of my video content gets made and uploaded long before I actually need them to be, anywhere from a couple weeks in most instances to a month or two, depending on what balance I'm able to strike with the content that I cover. As a result of this, the work that I always tend to be doing, quote unquote, in the here and now is the writing content, the stuff that I'm always working on, whenever I get a free chance to do it. I found that I ultimately just stress myself out enough when it comes to getting these videos made, so when I'm being super particular about writing stuff and making sure it all comes out on schedule, that stress load increases in a way that it just doesn't need to be for me. So from this point on, I am shifting focus primarily on videos, but I will keep writing in the background. But like whenever a chapter of my fantasy books get written, I'll just publish them on the website. They won't follow a schedule. Whenever a short story is ready, I'll publish it. There's no need for me to be super crazy about when that stuff comes out on a particular schedule, when in most cases basically all of that writing gets no traffic or very little traffic. So it's mostly just something that's fun for me to do for myself. So I figured I might as well adapt the environment of my writing to be an actual place of relaxation for me, something that I can do when I'm not working on other stuff, but that I'm not having to worry and stress about, a place where I'm still working but don't feel like I'm working. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to announce upcoming writing releases unless they're already ready to release and I plan to release them later, or I'll probably just cover, hey, what writing came out last month because I didn't announce any of it, stuff like that. Obviously, this whole seasonal productions thing is still a work in progress, still figuring things out as time goes on, so I'd appreciate any and all support again if you want to check out seasonalproductions.com. But yeah, I'm not going to announce future projects for writing. I'm just going to kind of work on things when I get a chance and release them when it's ready so that I'm not so stressed and worried about it, because that was a major problem for me in like January and February, and especially March when I didn't get to write pretty much at all when I was preparing stuff ahead of time for April and May. So for now, this is the end of the video. I am still looking to start talking about channel statistics, since that's something that I'd like to do, and maybe include that as a section in this video to replace some of the ones that I'm getting rid of or not talking about to the same extent or something like that. But maybe I'll include that next month since I'm, back to my normal release schedule. But yeah, I hope my content is something that you're enjoying, and if you are, please consider leaving a like, and most importantly, subscribe and check out seasonalproductions.com, since it now looks and functions even better than it did before, and I guess that's not saying much because it didn't look or function that great before, but it's so much improved, and I'm really happy with how it did. So if you want to check that out, please consider doing that and bookmarking it, and checking out any of the new stuff that comes out on there. Yeah, I think this video has gone on long enough considering that I've had so much to talk about. I will be back again, I believe, on Monday with the monthly reading wrap-up and TBR. If something else comes out before then, I'll be back in that video. But regardless, I will be back in the next video.